Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night. I'm Jerika Duncan in for Nora. We begin tonight with the crisis at the southern border. Right now, a massive convoy of migrants is making its way through Mexico and towards the United States. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas traveled to Mexico City today. They met with Mexico's president to discuss ways to stem the flow of migrants coming into this country. Mexico's president says he is willing to help, but wants the U.S. to address the main cause of the problem by improving relations with Venezuela and Cuba. He also wants more money for development in the region. Border security agents, aid groups, and local communities are stretched thin with a near record number of asylum seekers approaching the U.S.-Mexico border every day. Thousands of migrants, most from Central and South America, are part of the latest caravan moving through southern Mexico. CBS's Christina Ruffini will start us off tonight.
Looking to start the new year in a new country, as many as 10,000 migrants per day are crossing the southern border into the United States. Joe Biden has to help us, says this man from Honduras. Meanwhile, about 8,000 men, women, and children from multiple Latin American countries are making their way north through Mexico, the largest such caravan in months. The influx is having an impact as far north as New York, where the city says taking care of asylum seekers will cost an estimated $12 billion over the next 3 years. This chartered plane carrying hundreds of migrants from El Paso to Queens was forced to land in Philadelphia Tuesday night due to bad weather. The passengers instead boarded buses bound for Manhattan, arranged by Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
We tell Texas Governor Abbott to stop the games and use of migrants as political pawns.
Today, the mayors of New York, Chicago, and Denver came together to pressure the federal government for help.
The federal government must take responsibility and lead on this humanitarian crisis instead of leaving it for cities and localities to handle.
Migration was also high on the agenda for Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Mexico, where President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has said he expects it to be a key issue in next year's U.S. presidential election.
Biden's open border has opened the floodgates to record numbers.
The troubled southern border is already the subject of a new campaign ad from the Republican frontrunner.
President Trump had our border secured, and he'll do it again.
And Christina Ruffini joins us now. This is such a complex issue. When these migrants make it over to the U.S., how long before their cases are seen before immigration court?
Sometimes years. There's now a backlog of more than 3 million cases. These hearings are getting scheduled so far in advance. It's delaying decisions for legitimate, potentially vulnerable asylum seekers, as well as deportations for those who might not have a valid claim.
All right, Christina Ruffini, thank you.